So the ITC, it's a youth residential mental health program working with people 16 to 25. We work with people living on site and we're providing one-to-one counselling and goal-focused support to help people manage their mental health. The reason that we call it an integrated service is because we work across 2 sites. So we have a site in Box Hill South and we have a site in Wantirna South. And it really allows us to kind of pool our resources and offer a lot more support. And then the therapeutic community is a framework of mental health support. So it's effectively an idea that people are achieving recovery by participating in a community, by building social connections. Obviously the one-to-one work we're supporting people with and the groups are a big part of their recovery, but an even bigger part of it is just living in an environment where you've got, personal responsibility, where you're building positive connections with your peers, getting to act as a role model and giving back to that community.
I just come to the ITC program to learn some more independent living skills and get away from a toxic environment at home. I was bearing on 18. Would I be able to hold a job and pay my bills on time and cook my own food and manage my money well?
I was suffering with a lot of mental health and I wanted to be able to step out into my own shoes and make my own journey of life.
I was in and out of hospital for a little bit, for about 7 months. When I heard about this as a recovery program, I got involved.
I've suffered from mental health, mainly social anxiety and agoraphobia. I went to the GP and then the GP went to a therapist and the therapist sorted out this place.
Young people who live at the ITC, they're assigned to a key worker who's a mental health worker who they work with on a weekly basis throughout their ITC journey. And that support's super flexible. It might take the form of sitting down and talking about what's going on for a person, developing some goals, learning some coping strategies. Or it could involve, going out into the community and accessing some supports or really getting our hands dirty and teaching people how to work on certain living skills.
The one-on-ones are pretty amazing as well. Very good to just unbottle it and just talk and forming that connection with the care worker obviously helps a ton as well, yeah.
There's always goals around, managing mental health symptoms, where they want to go after the ITC in terms of housing. Everything else is completely driven by the young person. People might want to work on employment, education, particular goals they have around their personal relationships or mental health symptoms they want to get better at managing. And we're reviewing that constantly throughout their stay. Every couple of weeks we'll be sitting down, chatting about where people are at with their goals, seeing what support they need to maybe reframe those goals or work on the barriers to achieving them. And by the end of the journey, we're seeing people who've smashed so many goals that they never thought they'd be able to achieve. On a Monday, we have a community meeting where we're getting everyone from both ITC sites together to kind of reflect on their previous week, make some plans for the next week and just engage in some fun activities and build a bit of community. Then on the other days of the week, we're running a whole range of things. So some of our groups are very mental health focused, so they'll be based on different therapeutic techniques like, cognitive behavioural therapy, acceptance and commitment therapy, how to manage moods, build relationships, build coping strategies to manage mental health. We then have a lot of practical living skills focused stuff as well. So we might have groups teaching people to re-engage in education, study, figure out where they want to go with their housing after the ITC, or even really basic practical stuff like learning how to cook a decent meal. Then we usually have physical health focused group stuff like yoga, going for walks, gym groups. And then we have Wild, our wilderness adventure therapy program, where young people are getting out into nature doing stuff like whitewater rafting, rock climbing, that all framed around mental health recovery and anxiety management. But it's entirely up to each young person what they attend, and we can tailor that group roster to the current needs of the community. So I think one thing that young people sometimes struggle with at the ITC, we ask a lot from people, we're asking them to come to a lot of groups, a lot of one-to-one sessions, and it keeps people pretty busy. But I think the good thing about our program is it's allowing people to kind of have that experience because, out there in the real world, we're always dealing with a lot of demands and it can be tough to manage that with mental ill health.
Once you start getting little bits of a routine in place and you add to it, it does get easier.
After young people have been here for a couple of months, they can step up into youth leadership, which is basically an opportunity to contribute to actually developing the program and building it out. So, young people meet with senior staff, they'll be talking about how the community's going, things that are going really well and things that might not be going so well.
Youth leaders will normally be the one to come together and try to figure it out and then try to fix it.
It's really quite rewarding to step up, take charge, and I really think it can be a good way to build confidence, even though sometimes you might be a little anxious.
The first step in coming to the ITC is just a matter of giving us a call and having a chat. Give us a brief run through of what's going on and why you're looking for the young person to come to a service like the ITC. After that, we usually ask that the young person actually comes down on site and has a chat with staff. That way we can talk to them about the program, explain kind of what we expect from people and what we offer, and figure out if it's a good fit. And then if it is, it's just a matter of making a referral, which we can walk people through that process.